Missed you last night, but
thank you. Well, congrats on the win.
no, but you had some teammates that were compensating.
They stepped up and asked quality questions.
Several
Several of them.
at one time.
So, was the news you got today, if you had any on Austin Jackson, is it a sprained ankle that makes him day to day, or is it something more serious that could land him on IR?
No, it's something that is he was tough. He stayed in uniform and could have gone back in if in an emergency situation, but it's serious enough that we're getting some more eyes on it, and so we'll be continuing along the process to have the best medical information on him moving forward. So to be determined.
And Stephen Carter?
Yeah, he's in the concussion protocol, and so we'll you guys know how that goes. Where that is of all things the most case by case basis. So we'll be taking it as such moving forward.
The running game, something you take pride in, of course. What did you notice? What did you take away that can be improved going forward?
There was a lot. I didn't give. There wasn't a ton of opportunities for some bigger plays in the run game, but there were some. I think that New England does a great job of like I knew going into the game, of presenting different looks and having a plan specific for your unit. So that kept us off balance to a degree, but something that I'm very glad they got that rep on collectively, coaches and players included, because that's something that will not change as I've experienced moving forward. I think there was some good plays, but it's something that we'll look to improve upon, like really every other phase of our game moving forward.
Coach, you see the world is a better place when the Miami Dolphins win on Sunday. How do you look to improve heading into next week's matchup against Baltimore?
Well, I think that's I think there's some areas of the country that would disagree with that statement, but you know what? Who cares about them? So I agree with you. It's something that was a focus of what I spoke to the team about today, and it's one of the unique things about football that I think that not everyone totally digests. It is awesome, and the world is a better place. But if your goals are more than to just win a few games here or there, you take that feeling that you have on Sunday and you put it to bed, because the best teams are the ones that continually progress throughout the whole season, and theoretically, not outcome oriented, but theoretically that if we're on the journey that we want to be, that should be the worst game that we play all year. That you should always be getting better, and that's not always measured with wins and losses, but the best teams that if you want to be a good team in this league, you have to be playing your best football in the end of November and December months. So that's what we're gearing towards, and there was definitely no celebrations or parties today. I could tell that the team knew there was some plays to be made on the field that we didn't make. Yes, even in the locker room, but today it was definitely throughout the whole building that guys were focused on getting better and improving before this Baltimore game, because I promise you Baltimore does not care, or Baltimore could care less about our happy feelings on Sunday.
Following up a little bit off the question on the run game, when you look at the offensive line's performance as a whole, taking into account that Austin was out for a while there, what do you see from the line?
I saw a line that is young in the season. In terms of, I saw some really good stuff. There was some really good plays made by the line. The one thing about offensive line play is you can't take advantage of really good things by some players unless everyone is in concert. So the really what happened to me in the game was that when players were making plays on the offensive line in the run game specifically, there was a couple players that were a hair off, and that's when you're going against a team that plays physical like New England, that was definitely emphasizing stopping the run. Your results aren't what you want. I saw the same thing in the pass game. There were some really cool protection clips from and plays made by really everyone across the board. But then there was some miscues that were either just rule oriented, or we had a halfback miss a protection here or there. So ultimately, I was pleased with it, and it kind of, I wasn't that surprised. Just knowing the level of detail the Patriots bring forth, and they play heavy up front, and if you're off a little bit at one spot, it doesn't look the greatest. So I was pleased with where we're at, but that's assuming and going under operating under the assumption that we're going to continue to get better. So it wasn't far from where I pictured, and no confidence has been lost on my end.
Mike Gesicki's usage or lack thereof, was that a byproduct merely of matchups? Do you envision getting him more involved?
No, I would have expected at the end of the game by our game plan for him to have more pass game production, I guess. I think that was the case with, I would have expected to get the ball more to Jalen Waddle, who I think had 4 receptions. I would have expected Raheem Mostert to have more opportunities with the ball, and that's one of the things that happens in the course of the game. And when you're on a better, the better offenses that you're on, the more that can, you don't have to force your hand to certain players all the time, and defensive presentations and the distribution of the ball gets spread. I mean, I can remember games where, I think the most productive offense that I've ever been on was probably the 2016 Atlanta Falcons. I think the 4th game of the season, Julio Jones had 300 yards receiving, and I know during that season he also had games where he had 2 receptions. So that didn't really necessarily reflect the exact game plan at all. I would have expected him to have more, but that's just how the ball bounces sometimes in an NFL football game.
Mike, your secondary, what did you think of its production overall, and Noah being inactive? What was the reason behind it?
No, so I was pretty happy with the secondary. It's kind of what I expected, and like I told you, these are hard game day decisions. Noah knows that I wasn't punishing him. It happened to be about our specific game plan and the specific matchups that we had this week, and those are things that on a team, especially when you have, I think you guys have been grinding me on our secondary depth, and I tried to explain to you guys why. Well, I think you saw a little bit more from some of the players and why I feel that way. So we have some good players there that we will always try to do the best thing for the Miami Dolphins and the given matchups and the given defensive game plan. So that was just part of it.
Like would Van Ginkel, you think, have played more if he wasn't still working his way back from the appendix, or was that snap count 7, I think, defensively a game plan decision?
No, that was him working his way back. He's had a tremendous offseason, and it's to his credit that he was playing in that game. So that's a guy that that his teammates root for him because of what he brings to the field, and we're all I would expect him to get more stuff moving forward.
Coach, having had a chance to digest the film now, what can you say about the defensive game plan going into the game and also the way they adjusted from your defensive staff?
Yeah, I was very happy with it. I was happy with where they were focusing, and their overall game plan was pretty good. I thought there was some things that we were trying to get done in the second half that there's ultimate accountability that we try to preach, and to their credit, the players are saying, hey, we could have got that done, and the coaches are saying, well, we probably didn't articulate it right. That's where, for a game where they give up 7 points and score 7 points, you're very happy with the mindset of the whole unit. And so I was after digesting the film and talking to all the guys, and I'm very happy with where they're at, and they're expecting to continually get better, which is what we all expect.
What do you think of Tua after watching the game film?
I was happy with Tua because he did a lot of things well, and then he got the taste of there were some things that he wasn't that fired up about, but this is a team thing, and there's a lot of things that me personally that I told him, if you're to do your position right in the National Football League, you can't be afraid to find things that you can do better at. And there was several times that I think Tua was covering for me because I was getting the play in later than I would like. Those things I have no patience for myself, and so I let the team know, I think, after the game, and then as well as today, and you move forward with that. There's some things that I think he's done in practice that he didn't do exactly the same in the game, but over the course of you touch the ball every play. That's to be expected. What I really liked was that he made plays in each quarter, because to me that's good quarterback play. Because the hardest thing is between your ears to deal with this position in the National Football League. You have all this stuff going on. You have high expectations for yourself and for the offense. And when it's not, anytime you have a 3 and out, or it's kind of herky-jerky, you can get frustrated. And he found ways to make plays, even after plays that he was frustrated at, which a lot had to do with me. So together we'll keep moving forward, and I'm excited to do so.
For us, look at Baltimore facing Lamar, their defense, all of it.
Oh, it's as good of a challenge as you get in the National Football League. I've been following. That team has spawned a ton of ideas for me personally, and in the run game, they do an unbelievable job at forcing you to defend all gaps and be sound, and then they do a good job in the pass game too with things to balance that out. So you have to account for all 11 players on every down. You really do. You have to have a plan that for all the different bells and whistles that they run. They're very physical when moving players, and that's one of their challenges. And you can't take anything for granted, really, when you play a dynamic playmaker at the quarterback position like they have with Lamar Jackson. So that it's going to be a fun game, a challenging game, one that we're going to have to leave no stone unturned in the entire process for us to come out the way we want to come out this coming Sunday.
Mike, how tough was the call to go with Trent Sherfield and promoting River instead of Eric? No, Eric obviously has flashed, but you have a background. Trent and River are trustworthy. What went into that decision? How tough a call was it?
No, it was tough because that Eric can make plays, but at the same time, we were anticipating some position versatility that we needed, River, having River come up, he can make a ton of plays too. So I think that is something that it is tough when you have multiple players that you're confident in, but at the same time, you embrace those decisions on a weekly basis because it's not with what you're left with; it's who gives you the best opportunity in the given game plan. So it was I was happy for River to get in and get some plays, and I told Eric that's it's also an opportunity for him when anytime you're not active on the active roster, the tendency for players to do is to it sucks for them and they want to hide from the moment. And I just told them, no, this is something that you use to your advantage moving forward. You take in the environment, you take in the plays that you think you could make out there, and you use it as motivation moving forward to be extra detailed on your game plan. And as soon as he just gives the rest of his team the confidence that he can own game plans week in, week out from multiple positions, he won't have that problem anymore, and which he understood, and he is going to move forward amicably.
Thanks. All right.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.